Right?
Stoic Esports Episode 9, ZvT Week, Game 2. I am Stoic Nuvo.
And I'm Stoic Regrets. This is episode...
Yeah, I said all that. Don't worry. We're good.
Good one.
ZvT Week. Yeah, if you like our VODs, comment on the Team Liquid thread. I don't know if you know this, David, but I spent most of my time at work today not working, but putting the Team Liquid thread link into each VOD we have up on YouTube. It actually took like 5 minutes, so I did do work, but in case my boss listens to this.
We need more viewers, guys. Help us out.
We got lots. We're doing alright.
I don't know how they'd help us out, though. What would they do?
Now, let's talk a little bit about this game. This is a ZvT on the same map as last game. Game 2, or Game 1, against Poke Bunny. This is against Dano, and basically the same kind of setup. But
yeah, if you guys watch the first one, I'll just explain it a little bit. Basically, I want to take an early third and stay on Tier 1 tech for a significantly longer time than normal. So the key is you have to know what he's doing in order to directly counter it, because you can't build roaches, queens, spores, and banelings all at the same time, which is great because that would counter everything he can kind of throw at you in the first 11 minutes. But you got to pick one according to your scouting, make a good educated guess, and then go with it. So very similar to the Poke Bunny opening, a little bit of a different transition by him, and therefore a different transition by me. Okay, let's start. 41 seconds.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, play.
Okay.
I'm on your vision, but you're spamming again, so I'm going to take it off.
Oh, that's annoying. I need to stop doing that.
No, you got to keep doing it. Pro spam.
Okay, so I'm just going to scout at 14 once again. Sending my overlord to the left. You want to send your overlord to the closest ramp against Terran, because even if they don't build their racks there, they will most likely build their supply depot there. So just in a location where you get to see that he's there the fastest, the better, so that you're not in the dark for too long. Okay. So I should be sending my drone out very, very soon. Like right about now.
Like the 13th supply drone, or do you just kind of send it out at 14 supply?
14 supply, 100 minerals usually when I do it. It just works out well if you go 15 hatch, 15 pool. It gives you a good number to afford enough lings and enough queens to stop pushes, and obviously if no push comes, then it's great. You can just drone behind that. So ordinary 15 hatch, probably going to be 15 pooling behind this. Regular scouting, I know he's not on the left, so I'm going to send that overlord up there. And we're going to see he's on the right side. This would be a terrible position, so hopefully he's not here, and he's not, so this is really good for me. He's cross-spawn, which is what it's supposed to be. That's the MLG version, so very, very legit game.
Yeah,
so
I like cross-spawn. It always makes a better game in ZvT. Otherwise, it's really hard to play.
Okay, so what I did, a little bit of variation in this game, because I didn't see him on the left and the right, I got greedy and went to 16 pool instead. Just small things you can do. If you can squeeze out, the more the merrier. I mean, hypothetically, if I knew he was never going to send anything at me at the beginning of the game, I would probably 17 hatch, 17 gas, 17 pool. So, just, if you can get away with it, go ahead.
You spotted a marine and you're blocked off. I never know what to do here, because you can't scout the gas.
Yeah, so this is actually really good, because this game I really show the thought process behind it. You know, never guess unless he shows you something. So at this point, I have no idea what he's going to do. So I'll kind of walk you through what I'm thinking. So what he is doing is he's doing one of the most economic builds. He's doing a command center right after factory with no gas. So very, very economical. But I don't know what he's doing this so far. So as you can see, I've already sacrificed one drone to leave it in the middle of the map to see if any units are coming. And that's the reason why I built these 2 drones before I built these first 2 Zerglings. Because if it was a 2 racks, I would have seen something come at this point. And the problem with this map is it's too difficult to get an overlord to scout his gas at this point. So now I'm sending back the drone because these 2 lings are going to come out. So I'm swapping my scouts. So now the drone's going to be able to mine stuff, and the 2 lings are going to act as that drone which was scouting the middle of the map. So I'm putting down this spine crawler at a normal time that Hellions would have come, because I still have no idea that he's doing this super economic build. So I'm assuming at this point so far that it's Hellions. So I'm sending out these 2 lings. I scout the Xel'Naga. I still don't see anything. So I'm kind of worried right now because I really don't know what he can afford to send at me. So I'm just droning behind this. Why? Because I haven't seen anything. So I'm going to try to get away with as much econ as I possibly can. And taking my gases at a normal time that I do with this no gas opening at about 36. So now I send one Ling to the left to kind of get a double scout so he can't kill it. And I send one Ling here to get a real scout. So you see how he doesn't put the command center here? That scares me. I'm like, oh boy. And here's what really throws me off. I see 3 Marines here. Now, if I knew he was command centering first and I saw 3 Marines here, everything would be normal. But I don't know that he's command centering first. So the reason why I go a little bit apeshit here and I build these additional spines is because you see how I like pull my drones there? I'm like panicking. I'm actually panicking at this point. Because what I'm thinking in my head is, oh, this is some crazy one base all in. So I actually have 4 queens and 2 spine crawlers building with the 3rd one already there. And I'm like just about ready to go nuts and masslings, but luckily for me I do this 2nd scout. And because normally when you do a greedy economic build like this, your command center's at the bottom. So now I see that it's a late factory, so instantly cancel these 2 spine crawlers. I'm like, oh,
so
if you're...
What you thought is he could have had a factory and a starport already out with tech lab building.
Or something crazy, like 6 racks all in even, like anything. Because it was just very weird. An odd number of Marines for what I assume to be a gas opening, that means some crazy 111 all in or something really odd. So luckily for me, one of my spines actually almost finished. I was able to get away with it. Okay, so now I'm timing out this perfectly. This is the transition I'm talking about. So I'm getting my early 3rd, and I know that Hellions are going to come. So I'm not building any units right now, and I put down my Roach Warren so that when the Hellions come to me, I'm not going to build Lings, I'm not going to build Banelings, I'm just going to build Roaches. So I fully hard counter what he's going to send at me, which allows me to safely take this base and do a later tech than normal. So this is what we were talking about last game. This is a very good game to kind of show the different transitions of 2 different scouting opportunities. So the poke money game, yeah, the poke money game. Oh, I was really like, if he showed up with Banshees, I don't want to die to that, right? That's why I was very unsure.
There's nothing more frustrating than losing to Banshees.
Yeah, like I probably would have built more spine crawlers if I scouted that. I didn't see a factory. That would have been weird as shit. I definitely would have just built like 2 more spines. But so as you can see, I timed this perfectly. He runs in, and unexpectedly, I get an early 3rd, and Roaches come in. So very, very bad for him. He's going to lose all these Hellions. And after losing these Hellions, because the factory was so late, I know that he expanded so quick, I'm going to feel so safe. And he shows me Blue Flame, so just everything going wrong for him at this point.
That was sick. No workers killed.
Yeah, like him showing me Blue Flame tells me now that he's going Mech. So that's why I haven't even built a single Zergling after this. I built 4 more Roaches, and I'm feeling so safe right now. And as you can see, at this point, I'm going to be able to fully saturate my 3rd. So I go straight to 11 drones right there. And I still haven't teched yet. So as you can see...
What did you just see on the mini-map coming in?
I think it's 2 more Hellions. Yeah, 2 more Hellions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'll be fine. Totally fine. He's doing this as a scout, I'm pretty sure. But this creep spread is way too good at this point, so it's not going to do anything.
Killed 3 workers. God damn it.
Oh, god damn it. Goddamn Hellions. Okay, so a very late tech, and I know I'm going to be playing against Mech. I know I killed a lot of Hellions, so I tried to poke up there. I don't really want to invest. I probably could have killed a supply depot, but he already had a siege tank there, and against Mech, that was this econ greedy at the beginning, because don't forget, he opened 1 gas expo, and I know that he opened a fast CC because his reactors were so late. I don't really want to trade off units at this point in the game, because, like, what if he actually had 3 CCs back there, and he completely obliterates my Roach army? Now I'm in a terrible position, because the last thing you want to do is be economically behind against Mech. That's just absolutely horrible. Almost unwinnable. So as you can see, I'm using this opportunity to fully drone. I'm going to saturate my 3rd very, very quickly. And this game we're not going to be going into mutas, because I know for sure that he's going Mech. So this is going to be a little bit different. The thing about Mech is very difficult to play against if you don't know that he's going Mech while doing some kind of a tier 2 transition that you normally do against non-Mech armies. That's the real hard part about Mech. So the good thing about this game is I know that he's going Blue Flame, and I saw the tank, so I know that he's going Mech this game. So the game is going to be difficult just because, you know, all whining aside, Mech is a little bit difficult to handle with. altogether, just because the race is really, really strong. Mech units are very strong. They're hard to deal with in straight-up fights, so this game it's going to be long, it's going to be a little tedious, but at least I know he's going Mech. So everything I do is in preparation for Mech here. So I see that he has way more than enough siege tanks to kind of throw me off here. There's no way I can stop this third. So instead of getting greedy and trying to max at 200 and go all in here, I'm going to plan on letting him take the third and transition out of it. So as you can see, I'm getting drop and overlord speed. I'm going to be trying to take another base, because I know he cannot move out at this point. And I'm just going to go to Hive Tech as soon as I possibly can to try to deal with the Mech army. So, see, with this number of roaches, I feel really safe. Because I know that if he moves out here, it's going to turn into some kind of a desperate all-in attack. If I clean it up, he cannot win the game anymore. So basically that tells me there's like a 90% chance he's not going to do that. So very comfortable here to not build any units. As you can see, I'm putting down a Spire. I'm already at 70-something drones, and I'm still building additional drones, taking more bases, massing upgrades, getting a... Oh, sorry, I already said that. Getting a Spire also. Because I'm transitioning to the highest tech possible, which is going to be Broodlords at this point. Because I know that he cannot attack me at this point. So I'm very comfortable. The only thing I might be a little bit worried about, which can happen from time to time, is he did sneak in 3 or 4 medevacs and he drops Blue Flame Hellions into my base. But it's very difficult for him to do that because his tank count is so high and was so soon. Especially, you know, like right when at tier 1 when I sent like 6 roaches to his base, he already had a tank in siege mode. So that tells me that his gas deposit most likely was not into start point that early, because if he did, then there's no way he would have had more than 2 tanks at this point. If he had 4 medevacs, that is a ridiculous amount of gas that you would need 4 gases with the 5th and the 6th to invest in. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of harassment here, and all this harassment is supposed to do is allow me to stall time in order to go into tier 3. So he scans, he knows I'm going to tier 3, but that's okay because I'm transitioning into this pressure which is going to stall no matter what, because he cannot leave his base and he has to defend. So I get a nice free tank push up here, and as you can see, there's so many tanks there stretching his army. All of his tanks are so immobile, so this drop is not going to do amazing damage, but it's really, really annoying for him. It's really going to stall time, and it's going to force him to basically multitask with one of the slowest armies in the game. So just excellent for me altogether. And it frees up supply. So as you can see, this allows me to transition into a greater Spire. It allows me to build 11 Corruptors. I've taken my additional gases at my other base, and having 8 gases is going to really help transitioning into Broodlord tech.
The 2 Tech Lab kills is pretty huge too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially when he's going Mech, because then he can't build doors and tanks. So guys, just keep that in mind.
Yep. It could have been better if you can pay attention to it a little bit more. Sniping armories are huge. It stops upgrading. Upgrades when you're going Mech is absolutely crucial in the late game. Other than that, Tech Labs, I'd say, is the second best thing to target.
He didn't get the cancel on that command center. That's pretty big win.
Yep. Fortunately for him, it's not that punishing because Mech is allowed to sit here and pull up a gazillion minerals. Like, you're going to be able to see he's able to max regardless, just on 3 base. That's just the way Mech is if you can't kill him early. But don't attack into them unless you have a decent army. It's just not going to work. So at this point, I'm just doing this to scare him because I know that he has sentry towers, so I'm putting my roaches here so that he might actually move units there. I don't know if it worked or not, but if it did, great. And what that does is, if he decided to move out at this point, that might have scared him to go back into his base. So these 8 Broodlords that I just morphed, now it's 100% guaranteed that they're going to be able to go up. So just really good for me altogether. Spend my minerals. I could have been expanding a little bit more aggressive. Oh, no, never mind. I already have one in the middle. That's good enough. So now I have a very comfortable number of Broodlords. So now I'm going to build a secondary buffer army for my Broodlords to protect them. Infestors are usually good in high numbers. Otherwise, you can stay on Corruptors to kill off Vikings, or even Roaches against a pure Mech army. Because Roaches, once the tanks are forced to unsiege, are actually pretty excellent against Blue Flame Hellions and Thors. So now I'm just doing a little bit of harassment here. I have way too many resources. I'm able to bug him like this. It's very cost efficient for me because I'm able to use the supply deficit to remax on a stronger army. So as you can see now, I have 60 supply, And because I lost those roaches and I saw blue flame hellions, right away the first thing I do is I wall off this very vulnerable base with spine crawlers, and it's totally acceptable because I have 4,000 minerals and everything is gas deposit at this point. That's important. So a lot of spine crawlers. I don't like to be cheap here. Some people just build 4, you know, and then 12 blue flame fully upgraded hellions come there, and you lose everything still because they're just so strong. So why not invest and build a lot of spine crawlers? It's totally worth it.
He's doing that slow mech stuff.
Yeah. So he's trying to take the space here, and this is good for me. I'm about to remax on a very strong army. So as you can see here, I'm doing this roach thing because I have a strong belief that roaches are excellent in these positions once the tanks become a non-factor. Or even if he loses the tanks, ideally against mass doors, I don't really want blue lords, not at all. I'd rather have a 200 army of roaches. It's more mobile, it allows me to harass him, it allows me to go around his army, and in a straight up fight, I think it's better, because if you lose the brood lords, you have to rebuild them, and if you lose the roaches, and he loses equal number of Thors efficiency-wise, you come back with a full army and he has nothing. So after these brood lords, roaches definitely is one of the stronger units at this point, when his tank count is reduced.
So are you worried about the Viking count now? Because he's producing 6 Vikings at a time.
Yeah, so basically what I want to make sure here is the corruptor count never depletes the Viking count. Always want to make sure that your corruptors are on even ground. And the minute that they don't, you want to start thinking about transitioning into a ground army. Because that means his Viking count is getting out of control. So if I see 40, sorry, not 40, that's a bit inexact. If I see 20 Vikings, doing a huge roach switch, especially because he's stuck onto the base, will be excellent, because the trade-off will mean that I can remax and he can't. So here comes the engagement. I usually send in overlords like this because some of the Thors in the back that are out of range of the brood lords might accidentally hit. Actually, it's happening right now. You see that? You see how he had the Vikings on attack move?
Yeah.
He shot 2 whole volleys into the overlords. I mean, my army was so much stronger than his, so it didn't matter in this game, but 2 whole volleys could have saved you like 3.5 brood lords there, and that could have been the difference between killing off all the Thors and not. So, as you can see, I know that he's transitioning, probably going to transition into no more Vikings. So, and I also know that I killed his entire army, so me going back into broodlords here is an acceptable thing, but also simply remaxing on roaches like we just discussed would probably be the more ideal situation, because his Viking count didn't get out of control this game, but you get the gist of it. Like, once he wins that battle, there's no point trying to fight it off anymore. And as you can see, my upgrades on melee is excellent, so if I didn't crush him and knew I was going to win this game, basically if I knew that he had another base, which he doesn't, so I really don't care about going into Ultralisks at this point. But the next best step would be to go into Ultralisks. But at this point, it's irrelevant. I just want a strong ground army that I can trade off with, and whatever I can afford at this point, and that's roaches, so I'm just going to go back into roaches, and there's really not much you can do after that big fight. So you can see that's pretty much his entire investment.
Tech switch like that as well. I mean, he's got all these Vikings expecting more brood lords, and
Vikings become irrelevant, and there's no way he's going to take this 4th base right now. I know that. So
he's got 12 Vikings, and he can't do anything with them when you go back to roaches.
Yeah, and the good thing about me having these corruptors that I'm hiding is I can always transition into broodlords again, so they're not exactly useless at all. So it's really good for me. So as you can see, a large number of roaches, and you can't remax on enough tanks and Thors. Roaches just do excellent. Like, that wasn't even a contention. So very good for me. And he's not going to let me in, but it's no point at this point. The game is over. So
I think I'm way ahead of you. I'm at 24:30.
Oh, yeah, you're 10 seconds ahead.
Tell me when you're at 24:30.
And go. Okay, so a little bit of Viking harassment. That was
the
a
only
little
thing that annoys me, but I mean, the game's already over, so
yeah.
I can really do that Viking mass all he wants.
I could have reacted a little bit faster, but that is a lot of Vikings. They would have killed those
12
drones.
Vikings, yeah, you don't need to kill your roaches, and then they just would have lifted.
Yeah. But I mean, if he's using Vikings like that at this point, it's usually because it's a desperate means. So it usually means I'm fairly okay to take some losses, especially because I have so many minerals banked up.
Yeah.
So just trying to do this shenanigans again. But I think I have a gazillion spine crawlers there. Oh no, I moved them. Damn it. Oh no, I'm gonna catch them. We're good.
He's only able to land some of them.
And that's GG.
That's game. That was a good one. Good example of Mech.
Yep.
Mech's also retarded, by the way. takes so long to kill them. I game just like this. Now, what do you think about, like, you didn't build infestors at all that game? Would they have been useful, or would they have just been difficult against all the tank counts?
Infestors, honestly, against Mech are only really good against the Viking count. So because I knew that his transition wasn't into Vikings at that point, they really would have done absolutely nothing.
What about not even Neural Parasite? That's what I like to use against the Thors.
That would be the only thing. But see, the thing with Neural Parasiting is, if he, like, there are different army compositions that he can have. He can have too many Hellions, where the infestors become useless anyways, because the Hellions can't attack the Broodlords. Like, if he wants to run by, he can do that. Or he can have too many Thors, which is the most ideal for me to have the Roaches. Or he can have too many tanks. So that's ideal for me to have the Broodlords. So there really isn't anything with the ground Mech army that makes infestors really worth it against, because I'm countering it anyways with this tech army. Like, he has to have some number of ghosts or Vikings or something like that in order to counter the Broodlords. And the only thing I can think of that you can get into a little bit of a weird situation is if he's able to get 3/3 and an abnormally large number of Thors, then yes, Neuroparasite can be advantageous, but it also means that his tank count is going to be really bad. So massing Roaches and individually targeting the Thors is not so bad either, especially because Infestor Tech is so heavy. So I don't think it's worthwhile getting if it's a purely Mech army on the ground until he gets Vikings. In which case, definitely, Vikings get owned by infestors and by fungal growth and infested Terran.
Okay.
So, all right, next one.
All right.